My name is Brittany Morgan Ald, and I'm a secondary math education student here at Duquesne University. I grew up in Irwin, Pennsylvania with two older brothers, Ryan and Sean, and my mom and dad. I am a white, straight, cis woman and am an ally of the LGBT community. I'm 5'3.5", and I have long, curly brown hair, green, sometimes blue eyes. I grew up in a town that is not very diverse, and the majority of the population is white. I have 3 very best friends, and I know I can go to them whenever, for whatever, and I really appreciate them with everything I have. They teach me stuff every day and get me through the day with laughs and laughs and laughs. I surround myself with a few other friends and consider my cousins to be some of my best friends as well, which is awesome. Regarding the biological domain, I really don't think my features have changed drastically throughout the years. I've always had the curly brown hair, green or blue eyes, and crazy big smile. I get the rosy red cheeks from my mom and the rounded nose from my dad. I'm really not too sure where the hair comes from.
And her curly hair, I have to take credit for her curly hair because I prayed for that before she was even born. I prayed for her to have curly hair.
Their curls, probably more of the Ald family. My dad and her dad pretty much have wavy curly hair. She's got all, I think, the best qualities out of the 4 families that she is a part of.
In the future, I really don't see my appearance changing that much, if I'm being honest. I have no plan to cut my hair anytime soon, and I've pretty much looked the same since 9th grade, so that's that. Going into the historical domain, a micro event that impacted my life, I would have to say, was joining my high school lacrosse team. In 10th grade, they were looking for more girls to join the team, and a few of my friends were wanting to play, so I decided to join the team too. Long story short, I ended up playing varsity lacrosse my final 3 years of high school. The camaraderie that developed on the team was one that I loved being part of. My senior year, I actually got voted to be one of the captains of the varsity team, which was a leadership position that I never took on before. I've always been kind of a shy, reserved person, more of a follower, and never really felt comfortable telling people what to do or how they should do it. My coach described me as a quiet leader because I would lead by example, and the girls could just watch what I would do and how I would do something, and they would know to do it that way. This really boosted my confidence, and I finally got the courage to help girls out and let them know when they were doing something fundamentally incorrect and offer to help them. I broke out of my shell and got to express who I really was, and I appreciated the girls' willingness to accept my assistance. I've made my very best friends from the lacrosse team and through the connections of lacrosse. I love the sport so much that I even joined the club team here at Duquesne and have made a bunch of friends from that as well. I can honestly say I would not be who I am today without lacrosse. A macro event that had a big impact on my life was being part of the Women's March on Washington this past January. I got really into politics my senior year of high school when I took a political action class. That class introduced me to the offices of locally elected officials, got me more aware of how to vote and who to vote for, and broadened my perspectives of the different political parties. The march was something so incredible to be part of, and a day that I will remember for the rest of my life. It made me feel powerful and not alone with the thoughts and beliefs that I do have. People of all walks of life joined together to get our voices out there about what we feel is right and needs to be spoken about. Being of age to vote now, I'm more aware of politics in general and am keeping up with the current events of our world.
I thought Brittany was destined to be a teacher just by the way she reacted with her little younger cousins throughout the past, how they look up to her as a kind of a big sister figure.
For as far back as I can remember, Brittany always talked about wanting to be a teacher when she grew up. When she was a little girl, she would set up her classroom in her bedroom, and all her dolls were her little students, and they each had their own little lesson plan.
You've not only been quick to help, but you've also had a really good way of explaining things and just getting people to understand things the way, or at least close to the way you understand them.
If you didn't help me with that math homework, I probably wouldn't have passed that algebra class in college. So that was one time whenever your teaching, was helping me.
I grew up as Catholic and used to go to church every Sunday and still have Catholic beliefs now. I wouldn't say I'm the most religious person, but I do put my faith in God and know He's looking out for my future. And even though I do identify as Catholic, most of my beliefs are liberal, and I just truly believe to my core that everyone deserves to have the same opportunities no matter their gender, race, sexual orientation, financial status, or anything. I've learned these values through my family, but also from my schooling and friendships. Even though I grew up in a school district that was 98% white students and faculty, I was still aware of cultural differences through the internet and my internet friends. Going along with that, diversity has always been a tricky word for me. To me, diversity means different, not wrong, just different. Everyone has different thoughts and opinions and differing backgrounds to shape those thoughts and opinions. When those diverse ideas come together is when we can all see each other for what we really are.
The first thing I noticed is probably your hair.
Your long, ridiculously curly, dark hair.
Your hair, because it's almost always all over the place to some extent. If it's not that, it's probably your smile or your eyes.
Your eyes.
Either one of those, because you're usually
so,
smiling.
Bright
Usually
and pretty.
It's my favorite aspect about her personality is how she always has a smile on her face in any situation.
One thing that I really love about Brittany is her kind heart.
How even if I'm not in a great mood, your dumb sense of humor can make me laugh sometimes.
I like that I could always be goofy around you. It's not.
Power is having control over a certain situation, and I use power to better me and the people around me. I use my power to help others when needed if they can't do something on their own. I do not deal with conflict very well. I'm horrible with confrontation and avoid it to the best of my abilities. If something goes haywire, and depending on the intensity, I tend to get angsty and freak out a little bit. But I know I can always talk to one of my friends or my mom, and they'll help me out. If I'm by myself, I just tell myself to breathe and let myself know that everything will be okay, and I'll just go listen to music or something.
In high school, I feel like you were a student that got good grades and didn't really have to try because you were just naturally smart.
Brittany is the type of person that everybody aspires to be. She is more than qualified when it comes to helping people out, and she's full of knowledge and very personable, and she's going to be great with students.
Brittany Morgan Auld is my best friend.
Brittany is a breath of fresh air. Brittany is not afraid to do anything.
Brittany is Brittany, one of a kind. She's my sister, and I love her.